Tuesday, y'all. Happy Wednesday, everybody. Happy Wednesday. Happy Wednesday. One quick second. Sorry, y'all. All right. I knew something looked a little bland about the screen. See if y'all figured out. All right, y'all. All right. We back today. And we pick back up. Hold on. I just ran upstairs then. Back down. Hold on. I'm reading your comment. You are right. Listen, I did that last week too, right? I don't know why I keep doing that. Y'all right. It is not Wednesday. I don't know why I did that. Hold on. I don't know. I might need to watch out for the Tuesday or something. I don't know. That's crazy. Okay, let me start over. Happy Tuesday, everybody. It is June the 27th, 2023, day 64 of year 5 of reading through books, laws, and prophets. Another 5-year consecutive day count. It is day 1444. It's them repeating numbers for the last couple weeks. Them numbers, the repeating numbers everywhere, just been kicking in. One of the I ain't gonna say the craziest numbers, but I think it's a good number. 227. I've been seeing it everywhere. What's extremely crazy is when we checked in our hotel room, guess what room they gave us? 227. 227. Went into Wawa yesterday to get me a frappuccino. Guess what? Everybody know what a Wawa is. You over here on the East Coast, you might not know what a Wawa is. Wawa, when they first came out, I'm like, that's the craziest name for a gas station ever. But it is one of the best gas stations. And I normally don't eat food out of a gas station. You know how sometimes you go to gas stations and they got like little food things set up where you can get pizza or maybe some type of sandwich or something. I don't dare. But Wawa, it's a little bit of an overstatement, but it's like a delicatessen restaurant inside of the gas station. And it's one of the best gas stations. Like if I'm in town somewhere, I'll look for a Wawa first, right? Not that I'm eating what they're cooking. I just like the clean stores. It's always the same type of feel when you go into Wawa. And plus, I can get my Frappuccino drinks, go right there to the machine, boop, 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 give me that spoon. Yes, right? But anyway, I digress. Guess what my ticket number was? 227. I kid you not. All right, so but today is 1444. You're seeing 1111. 555 is a good one. How many of y'all see 999? I start to see 999, and a lot of times it's on receipts that I get or barcodes, the numbers at the end, but it pops out. It's crazy. But anyway, we're picking back up on page 399 in the Holy Gospel found in the Holy Megillah, also known as the Secret Nazarite Scroll. And this is chapter 8. So let me see. I kind of, for real, forgot what we were talking about. Oh, that's right. It's going through the chakras. Okay. So we paused in the middle of this chapter because this is like 800 verses. And the title of this chapter is The Enchanted Garden, 7 Gifts from the Alafim to Miriam on the occasion of her 7th birthday with the gifts of Gabriel and Ishael. Don't let the names for this book trigger you. We just put everything on the table, reading everything. All right. Don't kill me. All right. So with that being said, okay, page 380 is on page, verse 380 is on page 399. All right, y'all. Let me give a shout out to everybody here, everybody in the house. All right, y'all. Thank y'all for paying attention to y'all paying attention. Shalom, sis. Avia, greetings. Ray, hi. Tabitha, shalom, sis. Jesse Walls, good morning from Cincinnati, Ohio. Everybody, welcome Jesse in the chat today. Dawn, what's good, sis? Mom, shalom, shalom. Elijah, peace and blessings. Eternal learner, shalom. I know, I got to get it together about the Tuesdays. Tanya Bumberry, Grand Rising, sis. It's Tuesday. It's Tuesday in the USA. Y'all, I don't know where I was at. I don't know. I'm going to figure it out. Or maybe I don't know. Maybe I just want to skip over Tuesday for some. I don't know. Jamia, hey, girl. Hey. BC, shalom. Johnny James. Every time I see you, I think about my daddy. My daddy name is Johnny James. Happy Tuesday. Derek, shalom, shalom. I do. I got that summer. Listen, and I'm thinking about this. Should I put our kids on summer break? Because we still be rocking and rolling. I'm taking a few more breaks. I'm thinking, I don't know. It might be good for me though, but they in such a groove right now. I'm just like, oh, we're just gonna keep flowing with this. But we'll take like more breaks. I don't know. I might cut it down to 3 days a week. I don't know. We'll see. Deshaun, hey, sis, the intuitive goat, Brian, yo. I know, right? They show. I forgot about 227. I used to watch that a lot too. Mary. I was about to go back to sleep. You was about to go back to sleep. I started a few minutes late. That's your indirect way of telling me, girl, where's you at? That's one of my best friends' address. What? Nazarene saying Grand Rising. Good day, Facebook user. Everybody else here and came in and hanging out in the background. Top of the day to you. Jesse said, hello, everyone from Cincinnati, Ohio. Thank y'all very much. I'm loving this channel. Thank you for hanging out with us. All right, y'all. Yeah, that was your indirect way of telling me, like, sis, shoot at. Look, it's 27 people in here. The 227. All right, y'all. Exactly when I know. Still pulling myself together. Listen, let me share with y'all what happened early this morning when I posted that picture of SheBrew. I was up. I just couldn't sleep last night, right? So I was up. I don't think I went to sleep. It was probably close to 3. Just really, I was up thinking about SheBrew all night. I really was. So I was trying to find a picture that I could post. So I was going through all her pictures and everything, and I got this picture restored. So some of them I restored. I'm like, yeah, no. And I tried to do it with AI, make it look like a superhero or something, but I like any of the outputs that gave, because it changes her essence, and I wanted to keep it as close as possible, to her original picture and features and everything. So when I finally got it done, right? And I went ahead and posted it as a thumbnail for the videos, right? So I opened it back up because I was thinking about adding something else, right? So I was laying there, and this was about this. I'm gonna tell you exactly what time it was. I'm gonna have to show it to y'all. It was at 1:42 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I was woke and I was laying in the bed. I was laying in the bed the whole time while I'm messing with this thing, right? And so I was holding up, looking at it, thinking if I should move something around or add something to it, or like a hashtag midget or something like that to it. Then I realized that the screen, the TV, because the TV was on, but it was down low because I wasn't paying attention to it. I realized the screen hadn't changed in about at least 30 seconds. And I put my eyes on the screen, and guess what's frozen? Guess what? I'm late. It's telling me to switch my reading. But listen, guess what was frozen on my TV screen? You never guess. You never guess. And I'm not even sure what kind of commercial this was where it got frozen on that particular frame. It was a picture of a vortex, right? Going into like you about to zoom through a vortex. I kid you not. I'm gonna post it for y'all. Beside the picture that I did with SheBrew today, I'm gonna post it in the community section and then a Facebook group. I kid you not. As when I turned my eyes to look, and I'm like, and I stared at it for at least 10 more seconds. And then I looked back at the picture with the thing that I had just added for SheBrew, which looked like a vortex. And I seen this bright blue and white vortex, like if you would look inside of a tornado, you could see like a vortex, like a tornado. But if you flip it and look into it, you see that it kind of looked like a target, but like expanded, like you about to enter into a portal. It was 1:42 a.m. And I'm like, oh my God, because right before that, I heard a ringing in my ear, and I thought about what y'all had said. And I remember just a few minutes before I found out that SheBrew had passed, there was this long ringing in my ear. Matter of fact, we were out and we were walking into the we was about to go right into the Dr. Seuss experience, right? I heard this long ringing in my ear, and I'm like, and I looked around, I'm like, what was that? And my aunt sent me a message, and that's when I found out that SheBrew had passed. But what happened was, right before then, when I looked at this, there was that ringing, that long ringing again in my ear. And I remember y'all mentioned, somebody said their ears was ringing. And then I forget who it was. Maybe it was Elijah, or somebody said maybe the frequency is something. I forget exactly the words, but you mentioned it might be SheBrew trying to get our attention. Sometimes I'm like, are we over spiritualizing stuff here? But I'm thinking about the different moments where it happened. And I'm thinking, that might not be too far-fetched. And thinking about when I heard it again, and I was looking at her picture and saw the vortex frozen on my TV screen. And I'm like, and I stood there. I mean, I was laying there, and I'm like, and my mouth was open. I'm like, I literally did this. Then I thought, take a picture of this before it goes away. I hurry up and flip to my camera. As soon as I snapped the picture, it went away. I'm like, and I sat up in my bed. I'm like, and I literally did like that. And I'm thinking, I'm like, Pam, you over spiritualizing stuff. But that couldn't be coincidence. I'm like, that was crazy. And so I actually recorded a voice note recording what had happened. And by the time it was all over, it was 1:47. And so then I'm thinking, I was wondering exactly what time she passed, right? Because we weren't given like the exact time she passed, but we know it was towards the evening. But even though 1:42 is early in the morning, I don't know, but I'm thinking that was probably when she was taking off. I'm almost certain of it. Like in my mind, that's what I relegated this whole experience to, that was the time she was actually blasting off, so to speak, because you get 3 days here, and once that's done, you out of here for Faithless, right? So that was interesting to me, right? So, but look, Drayson, righteous, shalom. You woke up at 3. Look, I'm like, I need to go there. And that's part of why I'm late this morning, right? But that was crazy. I wanted to share that with y'all, right? But I'm gonna share the picture as soon as we get done. I'm gonna post it in there. I'm not sure if I can upload the voice, my voice note or whatever, but I'm gonna try to. But if not, it'll just be now, and I'll just write a quick blurb about it. Cousin, hello. Oh, hello. I saw shalom and said hello. I meant to say shalom. Cousin Shayla, Shogun Don Trill, shalom, shalom. No coincidence? Yeah, I don't think so either. Hold on. Nazarene is saying shalom. There's no such thing as coincidence. And that is the sign of angels speaking to you from the electromagnetic spectrum. Look, I'm still trying to get fully on the frequency where I can understand some of the messages and stuff. Dreadful cosmon blessings. All right, y'all. Let's get to this. I definitely wanted to share that with y'all. So it was really interesting. All right. But yeah, I believe there are no coincidences as well. Like I said, I'll share that vortex that froze on my screen. And listen, if y'all seen that in any type of commercial, like because it was on the TV, I'm not sure if it was a local commercial or what. Oh, I almost forgot the most important part. Listen, after the vortex, literally, as soon as I snapped the picture and I looked at it to make sure I got it, it went away, right? And then guess what the next commercial was that came on? And this is when I knew. I'm like, yeah, I'm not being overly spiritual here. This is not a coincidence. Guess what the next commercial was? It was a Capital One commercial, but guess what type of Capital One commercial it was? Capital One. Capital One. It was a Flight Miles commercial, and they said, ready to take flight? I'm like, oh! Y'all should have seen me early this morning with this. I'm like, Pam, listen. And I was like, this is no coincidence. I'm like, but it could be, but it's really not. And I was just mind blown. And that's why I stayed up the rest of the night thinking about that, thinking what chain of events could have led up to this particular thing happening at this particular time. It's crazy. It's crazy. But anyway, y'all. All right. Look, was it all caps? It wasn't all caps. You know what? No, I don't think I didn't pay attention to the capital letters. Look, but look, oh, Capital One, all caps. It wasn't a coincidence. It wasn't a coincidence. I am absolutely assured at this point that the letters weren't in all caps, but it was a Capital One commercial. SheBrew, all caps. Oh my God. That was amazing. I'm glad I shared that with y'all because at first I was like, I'm probably over spiritualizing this in some type of way. I'm just like, but listen, I am most assured at this point that none of that was coincidence. None of that was coincidence. I am mind blown at the moment. Yo, look, it was a Capital One commercial, right? We're all one in the Creator. The law of one, Capital One, SheBrew, all caps. This is gonna run through my mind all day. Your experience is mine daily nowadays. So glad you shared, because sometimes I think I'm nuts. I feel you. Some things that happen to me, I'm like, I ain't sharing that with nobody. But I'm so glad I did. Y'all, that was amazing. Even more amazing. Listen, right. Dawn, what else do you need as proof? Listen, I probably would not have put that together. Who is that? If Shogun Don Trill didn't ask, was it in all caps? Look, and I almost forgot that part of what happened last night. So I was about to start. You forgot the Capital One commercial. I'm like, that's right. I almost forgot the most important part. And I still didn't get it until I said it out loud. And he asked, was it in all caps? I'm like, no, it wasn't in all caps. It was a Capital One. Capital One. I'm just reliving it all over again in my head. Capital. That's amazing, y'all. I know we late. We're going to probably only get a few verses in because we're going to stop on time today. Listen, yo, that was, I love it. Dawn said, love me some SheBrew. She was, I know, right? The midget was trying to get my attention. Like, sis, I'm out here. Like, what kind of sign can we give her? What is she in tune to? Like, I see what she was talking about. Was there not anybody else? Because sometimes I be aloof. I'm still trying to figure things out. Like, man, was that a spiritual? I'm still like, this girl can barely tell her right hand from her left. Look, but anyway, I love the journey. I really do. I love the journey, figuring this stuff out. It's like a big, kind of like scavenger hunt to me, while we put the pieces of this stuff together. Listen, but we're gonna I like how what we read yesterday in the book of divinity, as you go through the different levels of growth, being able to tell the colors apart or whatever, and sounds, you got to start with 1, and then we'll add 2, and then 3, and let's try 5. Okay, let's do 10. Separate them apart till you can not just distinguish the sounds and the colors and the frequencies, but before somebody comes within your vicinity, you can detect what manner of man or woman that is, and what type of spirit they have, and what has taken place where they're at. I'm like, I strive to do that. I'm like, what can we do now to help us develop this in a way? Like, I'm really curious now as to what level of that type of understanding we can attain to while here, still in the flesh, right? Because clearly we get a little bit of it now. It's like we see the colors and we can distinguish them, all of these different things. But I'm just wondering, because we really, I'm gonna say me, really just getting into the spiritual side of this, where I'm able to tell some things apart. But this excites me beyond all other things, and I'm learning how to work this into like our school days, just not just sitting there drilling them, but once I become aware of something, just bring it up in casual conversation. If there's a moment or something that I see where I can bring in something, I'll add it, because I definitely want my children knowing this stuff at an early age, right? Children should be learning this stuff, not just the physical, but there definitely should be a spiritual school where they're also growing spiritually as well. Imagine if we would have learned about these spiritual things when we start learning our primary colors. Y'all know how we be flying around this earth right now. We really would. We be sargassing, suicing, prophesying, walking through walls and stuff. This really would be an amazing place. But we're getting there. I believe that's where all worlds develop to, where all beings there lifted to higher spiritual planes and operate in those things as the earth progresses in age and as the human species progress in spiritual things, so all right. SheBrew was that sister. My mom said, I'm loving this. In our chat, listen to the voice message. Oh, in our chat, I listen to the voice messages all at once to practice. Listen, I never thought about doing that. But that is amazing, because remember, we learned that the God currently ruling, well, a part of the training of the God is not that you just recognize all the multiple colors at once, but the sounds as well. And you can hear multiple conversations on the earth between multiple countries and can hear them distinctly. Like, it don't sound like a bunch of, y'all seen Bruce Almighty, where was a bunch of chatter and he got all his spiritual senses came online, and he was like, what? No. Yes. He answered everybody yes. People was losing 10 pounds eating Krispy Kreme donuts. All their prayers was coming true, because Bruce Almighty couldn't get that particular spiritual faculty under control. So he just answered yes to everybody's question, everybody's prayer. But that's good. Eternal Learner said, my daughter at age 9 told me the colors of music notes she saw when she heard the notes. I never heard of this until you mentioned it the other day. They actually have a movie. We mentioned it a long time ago when we first came across in the book of divinity. If you go back, it in the title, but I mentioned it's in the title the very first time we read in the Book of Divinity about the colors and stuff, there's also a movie on Netflix called Fast Colors, and it's talking about the same thing. It has those spiritual insights. So when I first saw Fast Colors, I'm like, this is a pretty good movie. You know, sis, she got some spiritual powers and stuff she need to sharpen. But then shortly thereafter, we started reading Owaspy, and when we got to that movie came back to mind. I'm like, oh my gosh. I'm like, they put all of this in a movie. Like, it's a lot of stuff in Hollywood. They teach you a lot of spiritual principles, but a lot of people don't catch it if you don't have eyes to see and ears to hear. Not that they're trying to teach you, but in a way, I really think Hollywood is trying to teach you about higher spiritual principles. And probably also they trying to flaunt it in front of your faces, like, these dummies can't see what's right in front of their face, right? If it was a snake, it would have bit you. Half of us walking around here with snake bites because things right in front of our face, and we can't, and we don't see it or we don't perceive it. All right. Okay, y'all. So let's go ahead. Oh yeah, we literally got like 15 minutes. Well, I wanted to share that. So we'll go ahead and we'll read through a little bit of this. And now I'll pause at I'll pause at, if y'all gotta go, I'm gonna go to like 7:30. Just 7:30. Give us at least like 30 minutes of reading. But if you gotta go, remember it's recorded. Go ahead, check out, come back later if you can. All right, page 399 in the Holy Megillah, we're on verse 380. And remember, it's going through the chakras. So now she is coming upon her fourth gift, which is her father playing the harp. Remember, her father, he had a big harp, you know, the musical instrument, a harp, and she walked upon him playing the harp, but he had a smaller harp, and it was one of her 7 gifts, right? But that is in correlation to the heart chakra, the fourth chakra, right? All right. So verse 380, page 399. Next, Miriam went for a walk. After a while, lo, she saw her father Zemira playing a harp beneath a tree. She sat beside him for a while, enjoying his beautiful music. She said, Father, you have a new harp. Lo, it is much smaller than your other harp. Zemira replied, this one is for you in celebration of your 7th year as my wonderful daughter. Behold, this smaller harp will be easier for you to carry. For I have noticed that you enjoy playing the harp in the garden, and lo, I have also noticed how hard it is for you to carry the big harp such a long distance. Miriam replied, Father, hold out your hand. Zemira did so and smiled. Miriam placed the green emerald in his hand. She said, this gemstone is my gift to you. It is a symbol of my love for my wonderful father. Heart chakra, the color is green. My screen keep freezing. It is green, right? So, and it says heart, or the anahata chakra. Green is the heart. The main issue or the prime function is balance, love, and connection, love and compassion, ego, hope, and positive attitude. The divine principle or the goal is warmth, esteem, and forgiveness, motion, sharing and relating, respecting self and all others. The physical property or the sense of it is the center of love for self, others, God, emotional balance, touch. The anatomical connections or the glands, heart, lung, lymph, and immune system, allergy, blood pressure, circulation, or the thymus. Then you have emotional connections or the signs, sharing and trust, flexibility, growth, new ideas, coping skills, balance, love. All right. And so remember, when we go through each one, I said I was going to share from here because we could clearly tell that it's telling us a story, but it's also teaching us a principle about a higher law, which is found within ourselves, right? Okay. Verse 391, page 400. Miriam placed the green emerald in his hand. She said, this gemstone is my gift to you. It is a symbol of my love for my wonderful father. So also remember, from the Nazarite or the Nazarene tradition, which is way more ancient, they said on birthdays. Now we come come out of the Christian church celebrating all these holidays. Then we start getting into the Hebrew roots and we realize, oh, that's all pagan, right? But we still using the same text or whatever. But then we transition and get over here into the Nazarite scroll, something that's way more ancient than this, and it gives us some of the original meanings and things for some of these actual holidays. And some of us, we like, yeah, I don't know, I still like the whole pagan thing, so I'm gonna stick with that, and that's okay, right? But I understand, even for a period of time, I ain't gonna say we stopped celebrating birthdays, but it's like, we ain't doing all this crazy stuff. And I'm like, hey, I mean, what is we gonna do to celebrate anything down here, right? And I'm like, we like to party, right? So I'm just like, man, we got to become spiritual and dull. Like, where's the fun, right? But we find out, and from the Nazarite tradition or the Nazarene tradition, that birthdays are not just the day where you lavish gifts upon the person that is born, but they are taught from the time that they can understand that your birthday is a day where you give a gift to the Creator in the form of a random act of love or something like that. So that is we're the ones who birthday it is. We're the ones who give the gifts, right? But everywhere else they focus on everybody else giving gifts to you. So they really make it become like for lack of a better word, it's teaching you how to be selfish. Like, what y'all got for me? Me. When really, if you look at it from the other perspective, it's like, what can I do to bless the Creator for giving me life here in this realm, for this phase of life? What can I do for you today, my guy? Right? You go buy somebody a meal. You can help the homeless. You can even help a child, right? You can help a single mother. Let's not forget the dads, help single father, anything like that. Help an elderly person, somebody less fortunate, pay a bill for somebody, something that gets you out of yourself and do something for somebody else. Because I still agree with this. Things that you do for the least of these, you also do unto me, right? And I know they put that in the mouth of JC, but I liken that's a higher law that the Creator has created, right? Because when we do something for somebody else without an expectation of something being done for us, that's an act of true love, right? So when you can do that, that's how we bless the Creator, with acts of kindness. And they can be totally random, right? All right. Christopher Jackson, what's going on, fam? Prince, we remember your name. We remember your name, Christopher Jackson. All right, y'all. Let's go back. Okay. Verse 393, page 400. Page 400. While carrying her new harp home, Miriam saw a Nazarene priest giving food to a homeless man. Miriam said to the priest, "Behold, you give all your life energy to holy work. Wherefore I feel called to give you a gift." And she gave the priest the blue sapphire that had been given to her by the Alafim. The priest said, "Holy child, will you feel hurt if I now use the sapphire to buy food for the poor?" Miriam replied, "I will not feel hurt. Lo, I will feel happy." So after the blue sapphire, hold on. The blue sapphire is indicative. They're right here. The throat chakra, right? Blue. Right there. Right there. Okay. The Vishuddha chakra. Blue. Neck, throat. Communicate. Oh, I'm sorry. The function or main issue, communication and healing. Creativity, seeing the whole individual, seeing the one will. The divine principle or the goal is speech and expression, speech, articulation, and creative communication. The physical property or sense is parathyroid, the balance of yin and yang, and the male, female. Here, the sense is hearing. The anatomical connections or the glands associated with this particular chakra, the throat and neck, parathyroid, ears, sinus, and respiratory system. And it says thyroid again down at the bottom. Then the emotional connections or signs, feelings and openness, ideas, healing nature, life force, creativity, and communication. All right. Verse 398. After taking her harp home, Miriam walked to Bar Hasad's house. Bar Hasad, the wise Nazarene wizard in charge of butterfly school, greeted her, saying, I hope you're enjoying your birthday. Behold, earlier this day, Bar Hasad had gifted Miriam with a book of wise sayings. Oh, I think I did say that. They also believed in giving gifts to the people's whose birthday it was, but that wasn't the focus. The focus of that day really was the person being grateful to the creator and them giving a gift to the creator in the form of a good deed or act of kindness for somebody else without the expectation of anything being done for them, right? All right, so for those that want to celebrate birthdays, there is a new higher understanding of that, because I think somebody was indirectly trying to shoot their shot. Not shoot they shot like that, but taking a shot at me on my timeline because I kind of went all out for my husband's birthday. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to ignore you, sis, because I used to be there. I'm like, because you start popping back up in my timeline, and all of a sudden you started posting all these things about pagan birthdays and stuff. And I'm like, I'm going to leave it alone. I ain't gonna do it. Satan, get thee behind me. I wanted to say something, but I didn't. It kept my cool. I'm like, you know, I'm operating from a higher light. I'm blessing my husband on his birthday. All right, look. Okay. Let me go back. After taking her harp home, Miriam walked to Bar Hasad's house. Bar Hasad, the wise Nazarene wizard in charge of butterfly school, greeted her, saying, I hope you're enjoying your birthday. Behold, earlier this day, Bar Hasad had gifted Miriam with a book of wise sayings. Thank you, son. When I came down here, I'm like, Elijah set this up. Listen, my son stayed the night last night, right? Because sometimes I be running behind him. He know about my shenanigans. So what he did, he came and set my whole setup up, and he wrote me a note on a paper towel. He said, one less thing you have to do. P.S. I love you, Mom. What's this last word? Was thinking about you. I'm like, oh, I have the best children in the world. All right. Okay. Verse 400. Let me read. Verse 400, page 400. Another number. Another clue. Behold, earlier this day, Bar Hasad had gifted Miriam with a book of wise sayings. Now it was Miriam's turn to give a gift to Bar Hasad. She said, I have brought you a gift. The holy child handed her wise teacher the purple amethyst, saying, this is the wisdom stone, and lo, you, Bar Hasad, are the wisest teacher in our village. Bar Hasad replied, any wisdom I have, I owe to the breath of life that comes from Jah and Elohim. Oh, let me highlight that. Any wisdom I have, I owe to the breath of life that comes from Jah, from our great creator. Bar Hasad replied, any wisdom I have, I owe to the breath of life that comes from Jah and Elohim. But in truth, my job in life is as much to be a But in truth, my job in life is as much to be a jester as to be a wise man. Miriam said, your humility is a sign of your wisdom, but it is true that you are also a great jester. You a jester, you ever play cards, you know, you got the king, queen, and the joker. That's a jester, right? All right. And so, hold on. Oh, she didn't even give it to him yet. Okay, I'm jumping ahead of myself. Verse 4-9. After sharing some good-natured laughs with Bar Hasad, for lo, he was a kind-hearted jester who did not laugh at others, but with them to make them happy, Miriam continued her walk. For lo, hold on. What did she give him? Oh, all the way at the beginning. I'm sorry. I'm slow, y'all. She gave him the purple amethyst. I'm sorry. Hold on. Yeah, verse 4 too. She said, I have brought you a gift. The holy child handed her wise teacher the purple amethyst, saying, this is the wisdom stone. All right, so the purple amethyst, and here they have it. Okay, so sometime, depending on what you have, sometimes the colors will be like two different shades of purple. The crown chakra, they have it here. As violet. Sometimes you will see that the violet as the 6th and the 7th is like a transparent clear, so but here they have it as indigo. And indigo and violet are two separate colors, but here it's the 6th chakra, which is the third eye chakra, which is indicative of wisdom, right? So third eye, the anja and ajna chakra. Indigo is the color, represents the third eye. The prime function or main issue is intuition and understanding, clairvoyance, and seeing beyond the 5 body senses, the psychic sense, the divine principle or the goal, 6th sense and clairvoyance, imagination, knowing and seeing intuitively. The physical property or sense is the endocrine and nervous system, awareness and meditation, intuition. The anatomical connections and the gland, the brow, autonomic nervous system, hypothalamus, eyes, pituitary. Emotional connections, sign, psychic awareness and intuition, big picture, service, imagination, focuses on the good, clairvoyance. All right, so go back here. And I think we'll probably, after we finish the last one, we're going to probably pause. Yeah, it won't be quite 7:30, but we're going to pause after this. And I think I definitely got to change my title because we did not even get to the fairies and the dragons and stuff like that. So I'm going to have to update my title. Okay. Verse 409. After sharing some good-natured laughs with Bar has said, for lo, he was a kind-hearted jester who did not laugh at others, but with them to make them happy. Miriam continued her walk. For lo, she had one more gemstone gift to give. Behold, she let herself be guided to where she was most needed, and she found herself at the bedside of a young man who had been in a coma for many days. For behold, he had fallen off a donkey and hit his head on a rock. And since the accident, he had not awakened. Clearly, this is a story to teach you of a higher principle, right? For behold, he had fallen off a donkey and hit his head on a rock. And since the accident, he had not awakened. And beside his bed stood his mother weeping. Lo, Miriam could see the young man's spirit hovering above the bed. She perceived that the spirit wanted to return to the body, but needed help. She gave the translucent crystal to the young man's mother, saying, hold this healing stone over the crown of his head. The woman did so, and behold, the spirit used the energy of the crystal to return the body of the young man. The woman did so, and behold, the spirit used the energy of the crystal to return to the body of the young man. Yea, the young man awakened and opened his eyes and said, thanks for helping me. The young woman rejoiced and hugged the boy with great happiness. Miriam went home and slept peacefully. So the last chakra, which is the crown chakra, which is located at the top of your head, which is also an entrance and an exit point, right? You enter and you exit through here, especially when you astral project or you have an out of body experience. You can do it on purpose. It can happen involuntarily. When your shards are trying to teach you something, they just bring you out your body. You get in that state. Your body starts with the subtle vibration of the body, right? And then next thing you know, you done popped out yourself into the. And I mean, not just for shenaniganizing purposes, but some people do, right? They pop outside of themselves for shenaniganizing purposes. But we should be learning about higher spiritual things when we do that, right? Everybody has the ability to do that. You have to be trained properly, and it's not spooky, it's not new age, it's not demonic. Christians talk about it, they do the same thing, but they just want to nice it up. Oh no, it was an out of body experience. As a matter of fact, it could have been a dream, because I don't know whether I was in the body or out of the body, as Apostle Paul would have. I'm like, man, be quiet, get on up out of here. What is that?
Get this in their eggs.
See, I don't even be eating eggs, son. You know, it's the embryo of a baby chicken. Yeah, that face right there. If you made aware of what you're about to eat. I'm sorry.
It's not easy. You can't just cook turkey like that.
But that thought would never leave your head. Every time you go to crack, you done steal a chicken's baby. Forgive me, hen. Go ahead, put some cheese on you. You're walking steps, son. You got steps. Step at a time. Okay. Crown chakra. This is the last thing, y'all. They want to roll out. Okay. The 7th chakra is the crown chakra. The color for this is, they got violet here, but it's like translucent, like a bright light, right? It just gets brighter. And it's found at the top of the head. The prime function or main issue is enlightenment and transcendence, spiritual understanding, cosmic consciousness, the divine principle or goal, divinity, and higher values, wisdom, inspiration, higher reason, and awareness, the physical property or the sense, metabolism, RNA, DNA, spiritual connections, thinking, the meditation portion, right? The anatomical connections or glands, the crown, central nervous system, head, cerebral cortex, the upper spine, the hair, and the pineal. You know, your hair is nothing but antennas, right? You got them inside your body. On the outside, they dry, they look like this, right? So when you get out there in the sun, for my Hebrew brethren and sister, and if you have your head wrapped all the time, to uncover it, get out there and let that sun beam down upon your crown, right? Get it flowing in the wind and all that good stuff, right? Enliven yourself. All right. And the emotional connections with this, the signs are spiritual love and compassion, peace, harmony, loving, thoughtful, focus, consciousness, and cosmic love. And that, my beautiful people, is where we're going to pause at today. Like I said, I'm going to have to change the title because we didn't even start on the fairies portion of it. So we're going to pick that back up tomorrow, 7:22. All right. So normally we be finishing at 7:15. So we're just a few minutes over. Put my ending page, 400, verse 422. I'm still writing it on Wednesday. It's because I wrote everything and now I got to scooch all my days over. Okay. All right, beautiful people. You know what? I forgot to do when we started, because I started telling y'all about what happened last night with SheBrew and stuff. Okay, so I forgot to give my word of adoration, right? So I'm going to give the beginning one and I'm going to give an ending one. So the one that I should have said when we first started was, Father, thank you for your guiding light. And I had one, but I also like this one that I highlighted. I'm going to just say both of them, right? Father, we thank you that for the wisdom that we have, all that we have comes from you, the breath of life. And also, we thank you for the 3 days time of saying goodbye to our loved ones before we blast up out of here, right? For those on a fast track, I call it the fast track of life, right? After you pass away, after you transition and you're born fully spirit, I just want to rephrase that whole death thing, right? We call it death here, but it's really birth into a new life. And like I said, not that it hurts any less here for those of us who are going to miss the ones who are growing on to their next level. It's sort of kind of like leaving for boot camp. veterans here, active duty military. You know how you leave for boot camp, everybody's sad and stuff. And some people may not be like, get that ninja out of here. I can't wait till you ship off. But it's kind of like that. And, you know, hopefully ain't nobody trying to boot you up out of here. Right? At least if it ain't time, not prematurely, right? But as you fully grown and ready to go, right? I'm of the mindset when I pass, y'all willing. I'm of the mind. Listen, no, that's in place now. Yeah. But as we grow, I'm gonna make sure y'all set, all of us, like make sure. I mean, all that physical stuff. Yeah, insurance policy. I'm gonna let you know where everything at. Listen, when I go, all this stuff gonna be playing. Y'all ain't gonna be no guesswork left for nobody. Here's this. When I go, this is what you get. Split it like this amongst y'all. Y'all got more than enough, right? We done imparted things into y'all, so y'all should be able to. They won't have that lottery mindset where they worse off than what they were before they received the money. Like, we spend our time developing skills and wisdom in you as you grow, so that when we leave, you don't squander all the wisdom and things that we taught you. We want to make sure it's a part of you, just like the air you breathe. I mean, the air you breathe is not necessarily a part of you, but y'all get it, right? I just couldn't think of anything else at the moment, but you get it, right? But when I go, I want to do like in the, what you say?
No, the chain of command that you're like, even me, the oldest, Jeremiah,
yeah,
even the youngest, when they do inherit the money, it's like y'all still can't even get to the money how y'all want to, because you got to go through.
Like setting all this up, and you read. Look, they're gonna be way past the ages of 18. We're gonna have like great grandbabies. I'm gonna say, I want to be like the 4th generation alive with my children. You know, that's how old I want to get, right? Because I want to make sure I can milk everything out of this existence before I go. Because I want to be so spiritually sharpened that when I go, I want it to be like Zarathustra. When he passed and Capilla, when they stepped out their body, bro, manifest time. Listen, that's what I was asking about yesterday. About those who pass on in the 3 days, who have attained to that level, they can actually manifest the body and sargus themselves for a period of time, and they can continue to teach before they roll out, you know. So, all right, homies, I'm out of here. But listen, I kind of liken it to leaving for boot camp, because you don't stay away forever. You get a chance to come back. And from what we understand from reading through WASPy, there's a certain period of time before newly born spirits are allowed to even come back. You get the 3 days to wrap it up, go visit everybody, kiss everybody. All right, homie, even though none of them are probably spiritually sharpened enough to be on that frequency where they can even feel you. Listen. Oh, I can't say that because I've learned more. I'm aware a little bit more with SheBrew than I was with some of my own family members who passed away. But now that I'm thinking about it, thinking back to these supernatural or spooky things that happened right after they passed or something, I'm like, oh my gosh, like you was probably there. The presence that you feel, like all of this stuff, when you talk about them, it's like all of these things, I'm becoming more sharp and kind of understanding some of these things now, right? So I understood a lot more, even though I'm like, is this a coincidence? Because we don't really know for sure, you know. But there is coming a time, not that you can't. I'm just still about to say a little, but I'm still a lot spiritually ignorant. You know, I could have, if I was on that frequency sharpened enough, I could have tapped in and literally probably could have had a full conversation with sis, because she's still here. She had 3 days, but I was just like the ringing in the ear. Like we trying to give her another clue. I'm sure that was happening with all of us. It's like, man, we still in pre-K. Like, we don't know. We still trying to learn our primary colors, but we can something is happening, right? But as we get older, we shouldn't be fumbling around in the dark. We should be able to, like, if something happening, we should be able to, give me a second, like pop right into the spiritual realm, have a out-of-body experience or whatever, find the issue or whatever is happening and bring the wisdom back here. Okay, boom, that's what we need to do. That's how it should be, right? That's how it was designed to be. It's a school. So all that we learn, the Creator has given us the ability to also test. But we gotta get out of this. Some of us, I ain't gonna say all of us, I say me, this spookiness, everything spooky and another devil type stuff, because nobody really taught us, um, how to really do it for real. Not all of us, but a great majority of us, we're just now learning how to use these physical senses. So we're kind of like babies, still crawling, rolling over, give them some tummy time. Some of us, I'm rolling off the bed. Just pick the baby up, put him back. Sinbad said, pick the baby up, put him back in the window. First of all, why is the baby in the window? Okay, y'all, I'm okay, hold on. All right, hold on. Go back. Oh, Dawn. I know what they comment. It was when I was talking about the birthday. I'm with you, sis. Mind your own business. Okay. I love my grand loves. Oh, yes. Some cheese. Tabitha said, we pray that the Iowa gave SheBrew family, yes, her family, the needed strength for the coming days, and the love and light continues to raise our swift messenger in the making. Bonita, SheBrew. I agree. All right, y'all. So many spiritual things line up. It's hard to deny, right? Color outside those lines. Sometimes we need to, right? Because some of us are not like what I call those engineer type people, or there's a right place for everything at the right time. Some of us, like I thought I was one of those type of persons. Like my mom would tell you, everything had to be nice and neat. My hangers are spaced apart, this certain amount of space. Everything is facing the same way on my dresser. All the perfume, all that stuff, it has to be like this, bed made just right. So I was a shoe-in for the military, the discipline portion for that. You know how my siblings used to mess with me? It would drive me bonkers. Up the wall. They will go in my room, on my dresser. They would take all my perfumes and turn them around backwards. They take my hangers, flip them around backwards. That's how terrible I was. I thought I was one of those type of persons until I got a little bit older and I got kids. And then they tested my gangster every which way. And I just had to really sit down and reevaluate my entire life. I'm like, this is going to be messy for the next 18 years. And then another child came and added another 18 years and 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 another 18 years. I'm like, my life is going to be abstract for many, many days hence. So I'm now coloring all outside those lines. You know what? And it's a beautiful array of colors, right? Like you really don't even get the imagination going until you make a mistake or a perceived mistake by some, right? And color outside that line. I'm like, wait a minute, hold on. What you just did there? Go ahead with that train of thought. Right? When my son passed, sorry to hear that, Avia. She said, when my son passed, I felt so cold to my bones. I think it was my son saying goodbye. Very well, very well. Like we know sometime inwardly. And even though I've never lost a child, I can only empathize. But that's definitely got to be hard. But I'm sure, like we all have like this inner knowing where we just know. So I wouldn't doubt that one bit, sis. Zarathustra's time, the people of that time understood the spirit realms of things, but today we're more religious. Absolutely agree with that 100%. But with this being the Cosmon era, or some people call it the age of Aquarius, we're breaking out of all of those religious constructs. We're tearing it down. Even though some people still, they freshly trying to build up these religious structures and worship in a wrong way, and just more focus on worship instead of growth of the spirit. We're starting to turn that stuff on the head, because worship doesn't grow you up spiritually. You can spend all your long your all your live long days worshiping, snotting, casting your crown down at the feet of the Creator. That ain't helping you grow spiritually. The Creator's like, all right, child, are you done? Are you done? Like he'll patch you up. All right, wipe the tears. Okay, now it's time to get moving, right? Because it's perpetual growth. And life shows that in everything we do, there's always perpetual growth in everything, all the cycles, the seasons, natures, humans, animals, all these things, perpetual growth is constantly before us, right? So, but worship, constant worship, keeps your face down, head in the sand, not any disrespect to those who love to worship, because I, for one, am a worshiper. I love to worship, right? And there's those times where we need that. Relax, relate, release. Sometimes you need to go in there and climb up on the lap of your daddy, or you'll lay your head on the lap of your mom, or hug around the neck and just have a good cry. Like, we need those times. Like, we really do. And I'm not discounting that, but we have to balance it, right? Mom and dad, after a while, when you're younger, they allow you to do it a little bit longer. But as you get older, they expect you, okay, you done shed the tears. Okay, let's talk about it. Okay. But as you go on, they expect you, not pushing you to grow too fast, but there definitely should be some development. And in this life, there's just some things that happen that's going to break your heart in two. It's going to break your heart in 3 and 15, 20,000 pieces. That's just a part of this realm, and it happens to the good and the bad. It happens to those who deserve it and those who never in a million lifetimes would ever have deserved the type of treatment that they've gotten here, especially children, because what child deserves some of the things that happen to them? But it's a part of this realm, right? And as we learn that, as we understand that this is a school and we should be learning, some people, they can take those experiences. Yes, you did go through that, but as they grow and develop and heal, they now can be a beacon of light to other people who are passing through this grade, who may have stumbled upon the same troubles that they have. Now they can be a guiding light to those who are looking for the light but can't see it because they're blinded and they're in the deepest, darkest places. But those who have come through it, they shine bright, and you can see light many, many, many miles, even if it's just a spark, right? But you can see it miles away in the midst of darkness. But that one speck of light will give you hope, and it'll give you direction, so to speak. And you begin to follow that light, right? You may not be close to it. You're still in darkness, but it gives you hope that there is light. We're getting close to the end of this. Let's keep going, right? It gives you strength, right? So even though you may come upon hard times, tough times, you could be a victim of certain things. It doesn't have to end there. And that doesn't have to be your story. There will be a time of healing, restoration, reconciliation. Some relationships may be deepened, others will be forever lost in this realm, right? But it's a part of this realm, But as you continue to go on and grow on, you should be getting better, developing. It may develop you into a new changed person, not a not a not a different person, but a person that's more grounded in a way. Like, in a way, sometimes when you leave from home, from things familiar, and you enter into boot camp, you come home changed. Not so much a different person, but you're a little more grounded. You understand some things, discipline in that short period of time. And what they can do in boot camp amazes me. In 6 to 8 to 9, sometimes 12 weeks or longer than that, if you are specializing, like in to become a SEAL or something like that, you come back with a little bit more substance, grounded. You can be a pillar of strength for people. And that's what happens when people go through these different situations and things in life. It may not be boot camp. That may not be your path, like it was my path, right? It could very well be a trauma. It could be a trauma of marriage. It could be a trauma in childhood. It could be a trauma with your parents, or it could be the trauma of substance abuse, any type of substance, drug, alcohol, all of these things. But everybody, you best believe, everybody is going to fall within one of these categories. Excuse me. I'm trying to clear my throat and cough at the same time. It just came out like what was that? But we all starting off, we all enter this place in the same way, but our growth paths in life are a little bit different, but it leads us to the same end, to the Creator. The path of growth may look different for a lot of us. Some of us, it will look the same. We have the groups who are kind of like the same, have the same stories in life, same experiences. And that's how it was designed. You're part of a, like, just like with families, you're part of a smaller family, a bigger group of people who have experienced certain type of things, to where you got mad moms against drunk drivers, the different things that come out of different areas of life, where the survivors can then go back and help those who are struggling to come through these saving paths of life and growth, right? And sometimes, excuse me, when we're going through it, it is never easy. It is the hardest thing that we ever, at that time, once we're going through it, it seems like there is no light at the end of the tunnel. But as time passes and we begin to heal and the mind is restored, we can actually choose. Now, we don't have to, excuse me, it's our choice to take our experience and use it as a gift to give to the Creator, right? I'm going to take this part of my life that was kind of screwed up, or all the way screwed up, and we're going to turn it into a blessing for other people. It's something my uncle said I never forget. And we were still kind of like Hebrew roots, but it remains true. He said, and I'm going to just kind of sum it up. He said, whatever the enemy has taken from you or destroyed in your life, he said, once you get to the end of that thing, he said, take that, and he said, and make the enemy pay you back pay and interest and dividends on all of that stuff. And he said, make the enemy pay you for what he did to you. And then what did he say? He said something after that where I just looked at him, I'm like, because I wasn't getting it. And then he began to break it down and explain it. He said, use your life, use that as an experience to help others, to bring them out of that. He said, that's how you make the enemy give up your stuff. You regain the territory by overcoming and then going back and helping others and making the enemy pay interest on that, you know? So I'm like, that is amazing, you know? So like with all the marriage issues and troubles and all these different things in my life, I'm looking at it now from like a higher light. And some things are still hard, but I'm always hearing my uncle Leroy. I talk about him a lot. I never say his name. I give him his props. My Uncle Leroy. Most of my family know him by Uncle Anthony. But with this particular thing, I just look at different areas of my life and my children, and I always think about this. How can we turn this around? How can we make the enemy pay us and give us dividends, right? So I'm going to teach my children. I'm going to teach them a higher light so that they can grow early and understand these spiritual things and literally make an impact spiritually earlier in life. And that's what should be happening in this era, as people are coming in earlier and earlier. Even I would say, even from before the womb, they should be alerted to the fact that they are truly pure spirit. And this is just a phase that the spirit goes through for growth, to understand these corporal or physical things. It's kind of like science class for us, science class for the spirit, the earth realm. That's what I like to call it. But that my uncle was the first one who ever alerted me to the fact that he said the whole earth is like a science lab. And I'm like, what? And early on, look, just getting out of boot camp, coming back here because it came from Illinois. Well, started here, went to Illinois, joined the military, got back here. But when I got stationed back here, my Uncle Anthony and Aunt Valerie was like the main ones that I spent the majority of my time with. And they were the spiritual giants in my life, you know, so they were always imparting these things into me. And I'm just like, what? That don't make any sense to me. But the longer I hung with them, things began to make sense, and spiritual things, senses began to come online for me. I'm like, oh, snap. And my uncle has a lesson for everything. He can see the wisdom in everything for the most part, and a lot of things that I came to him or them with. But anyway, look, we done went over the time I said we was gonna stop. It is 7:44. Y'all, let's get out of here. Y'all the real MVPs for staying around. Listen to me talk. All right, hold on. Mother Pammy. You're welcome. Tabitha said that's the lesson Moses learned after cursing Nugon. Forgiveness was the healer, right? I thought about this yesterday. Well, I was talking to my sister because, you know, everybody, like I said, everybody has their things that they have to go through. And, you know, she was just like asking these questions, you know, like some things she said, I just don't deserve stuff like this. Like, why stuff like this happen? You know, it's that thing, why bad things happen to good people, right? You know, so I was just kind of sharing what the just the different principles that I've learned from OWASP and stuff like that, you know, and like just all, you know, all those things. So just kind of like regurgitating what I just shared with y'all, you know, with her. But when I was talking to her, I thought about that. I thought about that particular instance with Moses. Because remember, after he cursed Nugon, remember Nugon, that was his name. That was actually Pharaoh in Exodus. Excuse me. And so in OWASP, it gives you a deeper story of what happened there. And during Passover and that lamb they slaughtered, that was actually a blood curse that Moses put on Nugon or Pharaoh, but it affected him the rest of his days. And even when he transitioned to spirit and he was cast into a hell knot, he still couldn't see, you know. And so they searched for Moses. Of course, they found Moses in one of the highest universities or whatever, and they got him. And they knew when they came, Moses knew when they came what they was there for, because he knew he was going to have to see Pharaoh again. Remember the last words? Pharaoh, he said, don't come before my face again or you're going to die. Moses, very well, this is the last time you're going to see my face, but you're going to call out for me, bro. Right? And so, but in OWASP, it tells you, after Moses saw the state that Nugon was in, somebody who had constantly done the people from the story, good people did good people wrong, right? Moses said, I should have just forgiven him. But instead of doing that, when they left out of Egypt, they cursed him, which affected his life even into the spiritual realm. And it caused him turmoil. Not that he didn't deserve it, but who are we? We're not the judge of that, right? Every person should judge themselves, and a creator allows you to judge yourself. And even when the creator comes and judges you, what we learn from Owaspi is that he don't even judge you like most people. You're gonna burn in hell forever. That is not the judgment of the creator. The judgment of creator is literally to sit here and talk about what you just did, and now your judgment is you go fix that. You are responsible for what you did. You broke it, you fix it. You set the fire, or you put the fire out, and you go restore the stuff. That's the judgment of the creator. You fix it. He makes you become responsible, right? And so Moses said, I should have just forgiven him. And I'm like, that's a whole message in itself. So as me and my sister was talking about this particular situation that's going on in her life, and she kind of got some insight into a couple things that happened to said person who's crossed her. And then to when things happen, it's like, you know what? Calling the ancestors, they don't even need to breathe no more. Right? But I'm like, we know we got to be careful with those words. But shortly after that, something happened, and then made aware of what's happened. And to see the state of somebody like that, it kind of humbles you in a way. And she was like, man, Father, forgive me. I don't wish death on anybody. Um, and when we was talking about this, that's the time when Moses, that whole thing came back to me, when Moses said, I should have just forgiven him. So sometimes we do need to just forgive people and just move on. Some, like I said, some relationships, they'll never be restored here, right? But that's okay. They will be restored in time to come, even if it's not until we enter into the next realm, right? But sometimes the best thing, and I'm not saying sometimes we get that forgive, like coming out of a Christian church, sometimes like there's kind of like a mixed feelings for me about that. Like I'm all for forgiveness, but not so, and be careful when I say this. I ain't talking about like forgiveness where you just allow people to do you any kind of way and run over you and just like stomp on you like you're nothing. I ain't talking about that forgiveness. That because that's like you're enabling people to make you a victim. Sometimes some relationships need to end for a period of time here. Some, like I said, they may need to end forever, but sometimes forgiveness is, what? We're gonna part our ways. I forgive you, but this is where we part road. This is where our paths part, and you just go on about your life, because sometimes when people miss their cycle or their season to walk away, something else I learned from my uncle, the people have cycles and seasons that they go. I didn't understand a lot of this stuff that he was telling me until literally like getting into a WASP, and I don't think he's ever read a WASP a day in his life. I don't even know if he has a copy. But a lot of this stuff that I learned, he's learned just by daily spending time with the Creator. So this can be done. The growth can happen even, excuse me, without any kind of holy books. Some people think you need some type of book or something. You really don't. You really don't. You have a part of the Creator in you, and you can literally grow just with that spark of light on the inside of you. And the Creator will teach you, because I am amazed at the wisdom that comes out of my uncle's mouth at times. And I'm just like, it ain't nobody but the Creator, but he's older and he knows that, and he know how to just tap in and get stuff. And it still amazes me. But sometimes when we part paths, it's okay sometimes. But the cycles that come, if you get caught in the cycle, if you okay, so I'm trying to think of an example. Oh, let me just say it like this. As the cycles go, you have certain times within cycles that you can accomplish certain things. If it's a time to go and you miss that, you miss that time to go and you stay, things become worse. And sometimes people have cycles of 7 where they go through different things, and the strength is highest right here during this period of time that gives you the extra strength excuse me, to make the move or make the decision to go. And you can feel it. All things are lining up. All the spiritual, everything is lining up behind you to go do whatever it is that you need to do. If you don't act on that and you miss that cycle, you have to wait for it to come around again, because everything else, you won't be able to bust through whatever this is, because you missed the cycle, and it's going to be a lot harder and things don't work out. But not saying that you can't, but it does make it harder. There are times where things are just easier because, for lack of better words, all things are in place. The moons are aligned and all it is just easier to make progress in certain seasons and times and stuff. Now I'm becoming even more aware of that as I'm learning and growing. There are definitely certain times to do things. But if you get stuck in a cycle, sometime you may need to wait till that cycle ends and that door opens again for you to make the entrance, exit, whatever it is you need to do. Right. So, but that's it for today, y'all. We have got to go.
When the cycle is going to come back again.
You know that's good. Elijah said there is no time period on cycles, right? That he's telling the absolute truth, because what we just learned. Hold on, it just came to mind. Like the example they gave in here, like for the end times, right? In the Holy Megillah, when it's talking about the end times, they say it's not a certain specific time in creation or whatever, but it happens as a season. When once people like get on board and different things happen, this will begin to happen. But if people miss that, or miss the entrance of truth, or where a truth can come out, if the people are not ready, it'll just go on another cycle again until the next group of people are ready. So there's not like the specific time on it, but it literally is like a season. And so you have to be aware of it. And if you miss it, you're going to probably... Right. Elijah bring up a good point. And it may not be like time, so to speak. It could be kids, right? It could be anything. Anything like that, right? So you have to be aware of it. Just put it back right there. We're about to get out of here. But yeah, so it's really interesting, y'all. Okay, so but we about to get out of here. All right, y'all. Thank y'all, everybody hanging out in the background. Kizzy said she grew up apostolic. Christian hearts are the worst. Oh, sometimes, I mean, they mean well, and they really gun ho for what they believe is the truth. But sometimes they need a little adjustment, like we did, you know. So I'm easing up on them. Sometimes they still gets right under my skin. I'm like, man, you getting on my nerves. Like, scroll. I still be rolling my eyes and smacking my lips. I'm like, we still doing this, yeah. But you know, I get it. Eternal Learner said, "You don't need books. Truth. My sudden experience led me to look for the books to help me understand what I am." I love that. Look at how these Christian ministers attack each other's ministry. The sad thing is they're all reading from the same book. You better preach. Right? Kizzy said, that's why I couldn't stay. Love does not dwell in those people, only fear, pain, and anger. That's ain't nothing but the truth. Not all of them, a good bit of them, right? They still really need a lot of things worked out of them, you know. So, and they hit you with that nasty nice and bless you in Jesus' name. I'm like, I'ma smack you in my name. All right, y'all, we out of here. I love y'all. I see y'all back here tomorrow morning, bright and early, 6:15 a.m. Eastern Standard Time.
But I see through you.
I'm from outer space. I got Milky Way for blood, evolution in my veins. I'm gold. I've been far away. I'm illuminated now, making moves.
What did you just do to me?
I pushed your astral form out of your physical form.
What's in that tea? Psilocybin? LSD?
It's just tea. With a little honey.
What just happened?
For a moment, you entered the astral dimension.
What?
A place where the soul exists apart from the body.
Why are you doing this to me?
To show you just how much you don't know. Open your eyes.
Been dreaming about flying for a long time. I had a vision from the birds, they want a coastline.
What's happening? This isn't real, this isn't real, this isn't real, this is...
Dreaming about flying for a long time. I had a vision from the birds, they want a coastline.
His heart rate is getting dangerously high.
He looks all right to me. You think that this particular universe is all there is?
I don't need gravity, I need
What mysteries lie beyond the reach of your senses? Existence Mind and matter meet. Thoughts shape reality.
I don't need gravity, I just need growth. Of this illusion, I am not really here, I'm an intrusion. I don't swim or sink, I just float.
Some benevolent and life-giving, filled with malice and hunger. Dark places where powers older than time and waiting.
I don't swim or sink, I just float.
Who are you in this vast multiverse?
I don't need gravity, I just need growth. I don't need gravity, I just need growth.
Have you seen that before in a gift shop?
I don't need gravity, I just need growth.
Teach me.
No.
It's an earthquake rumble. I won't ever ever fall, never stumble. And I don't need to be humble. Break down walls like Jericho crumble.